So you've almost certainly heard of the game developer Bethesda, the company responsible for hugely successful franchises such as Fallout and The Elder Scrolls. Skyrim is actually so successful that Bethesda have managed to release it 15 times on 10 different systems. And while you might be aware of all their successes, you may be unaware of an absolute masterpiece they published called Rogue Warrior. Released in 2009 and based on the book series of the same name, Rogue Warrior is a tactical first-person shooter where you play as actual Navy SEAL Richard Marcinko, the man who founded SEAL Team 6. Initially, the project was going to be a 24-player competitive co-op game called Rogue Warrior Black Razor. However, Bethesda switched developers and it was scrapped to make a more story-focused game around Marcinko himself. From what I saw online, Rogue Warrior was going to be a franchise akin to the Tom Clancy games. However, from the title you can probably tell it didn't work out like that. Now you'd assume, if done well, a game about the man who founded SEAL Team 6 would be awesome. Well, not so much.
Wait till you see the... No.
These are the most consistently scathing reviews I've ever seen. I didn't see a single good review that wasn't a joke. It's apparently so terrible, it was stated to be one of the worst PC games of all time, and truly one of the worst first-person shooters in living memory. So yeah, it seemed like a game worth looking at, so without further ado, let's see if this game really is as bad as the reviews suggest.
I'm gonna show 'em what time it is.
So the game takes place in 1986 during the Cold War. You play as Richard Marcinko, who's been tasked with an undercover mission into North Korea to investigate an alleged missile program, only to find out the missiles aren't North Korean, but Soviet. So after murdering your way through North Korea, you literally catch the train to Soviet-era Russia, track down the missiles, blow them up, and single-handedly end the Cold War. Now that premise isn't awful, it's unbelievably uninspired and as generic as physically possible, but the same can be said for any number of first-person shooters. No, the real reason this game's story stands out is because it's unintentionally hilarious, in part because of how Marcinko's in-game character is portrayed. Because from what I can see, they've gone for something like Marcus Phoenix, but he just comes off as a colossal bellend that deliberately makes things harder for himself. They try so hard to make him cool that it's completely backfired. As a result, you have a character who's more of an unintentional comedian than a hero.
That's the factory. The great leader must have a tiny dick.
Firstly, one way they tried to make him cool was to have him rattle off some profanity every single second. You do anything, and it's fuck this, fuck that, or go fuck yourself. Apparently this guy swears a lot in real life, so it's accurate, but just listen to some of the shit he says.
Suck my balls, my hairy fucking big balls. Wrap them around your fucking mouth. I'm gonna shove it up your ass.
And the thing is, people who played this might not have been aware of Richard Marcinko or the Rogue Warrior series. I wasn't. So when you hear him say this...
Fuck your mother, fuck your father, fuck him in the ass, you cocksucker, you fucking asshole.
It sounds like a 13-year-old who just learned profanity was combining the swear words and writing the dialogue. If you played a drinking game and had a shot every time he swears, your liver would probably pack up halfway through the game. Also, this version of Marcinko is just a terrible soldier. I don't doubt the guy's real-life achievements, but in the game he doesn't listen to a single order given to him. All that happens is his superior officer gives him an order, he says go fuck yourself, and then does his own thing.
I mean it, Dick. No bullshit. You wrap this thing now or I will nail your ass to the wall for insubordination.
Say it again, boss, you're breaking up.
I get it, it's called Rogue Warrior, but it would make much more sense if the guy was cut off from communications, left on his own, and then was forced to go rogue. In this, he just fucking chooses to, despite the fact he's in constant communication with people, and he could have backup anytime he wants.
I'll have a full team on the ground ASAP.
I'm here, they're not.
One of the best examples of them trying to make him look cool but failing is at the start of a mission he walks out of an elevator with a Cuban cigar, surrounded by explosions, then stamps it out. However, in context of the game, he was in the elevator for less than 30 seconds, meaning he got like 20 seconds of actual smoking. So he lit that just to look cool. The game plays out like an over-the-top so bad it's good 80s action film, which is fine, but it has all the glaring plot holes of a so bad it's good 80s action film. For example, Marcinko states in the first cutscene that his mission is top secret. As such, he's brought 2 of the most highly decorated soldiers he trained himself.
I trained these men up through the SEAL program. They've saved my ugly ass more than once. They're dirtbags and hard motherfuckers. When I'm staring death in the face, it's them I want watching my 6.
But they die in the opening cutscene in the dumbest way possible. I'm sorry, how long were they looking at that man with a grenade? They're apparently the best in the business. Years of active service and training, but somehow they didn't recognise that was a grenade pin. Also, Marcinko blames those filthy commies for killing them, when it was 50% their fault. He even calls them amateurs later on.
Drop dead, motherfucker, you fucking amateurs.
Also, like I said, he's supposed to be on a top secret mission, as it could risk escalating the Cold War, yet the whole game is spent murdering hundreds upon hundreds of people, blowing up factories in 2 separate countries, and even destroying Russia's most important military base. I mean, at the end, he just hops on a boat and says, "Oh, it's over, what took you so long?" And that's it.
Party's over. What took you motherfuckers so long?
Because obviously, the Russians won't notice their most important base has been blown up by the Americans. Honestly, I think he just makes the situation worse. Even the cutscenes don't make much sense, because in one mission, after killing everybody in a building, you reach the control center, reroute some missiles, and then destroy the building itself. But in the cutscene where it's destroyed, the guards can be seen patrolling casually as ever in the places you've already shot up. So did they not see the American soldier running around murdering everyone? Or are they just deliberately ignoring the bodies of their fallen comrades? And it's one of these things where I can't tell if it's meant to be funny, or if it's meant to be serious.
I'm gonna show them what time it is.
So firstly, I want to mention that I didn't even get to play this game for 2 days after I bought it. That's because it straight up doesn't work. The first time I booted it up, it crashed over and over again and I couldn't make it past the first level. So how do you fix this? Verify the game files? Uninstall and re-download it? No. You have to download a software to force VSync on, then download several extension files from several different places, extract them to the game, and then it might work. But thankfully this game has a shockingly active forum, I don't know why, but it just does. And when I did get it running, I was greeted with the game's difficulty settings, which are, if you're a pussy, choose this one, bring it on motherfuckers, and you think you're fucking special, huh? Why? What was wrong with normal difficulty settings? Who came up with that and thought, yeah, that sounds really, really cool? Now, the actual gameplay isn't dissimilar to most FPS games. I didn't really find anything that offensively bad with the combat mechanics. Sure, they're not that exciting, but they're not terrible either. Also, the maps are more well made than I assumed they'd be. They're nothing to write home about, but they're definitely not Soldiers of the Universe level, although that doesn't mean every other aspect of the game is okay. Far from it, actually. As you'd expect, you get a variety of weapons to use in the game, everything from shotguns, submachine guns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and light machine guns. However, some of these guns are vastly superior to the others. The PKP light machine gun basically eclipses every other gun except one. Ironically, the best guns overall are the pistols. More specifically, the silence pistol you get given at the start of the game. I'm serious. Yes, there are more powerful guns, but the pistol has infinite ammo, and it still dispatches enemies at very fast rates. Also, the more you shoot the other guns while behind cover, the less accurate they become. However, the pistol doesn't suffer from this issue. It's deadly accurate 100% of the time, no matter how fast you shoot it. So you have a gun that cannot miss and never runs out of ammo. Although there's a weapon that's even more powerful, and that's Marcinko's combat knife.
Got you like a fish.
No joke, it's a weapon of mass destruction. Fuck the nukes. All they needed to win the Cold War was a bearded man with a pointy piece of metal. See, whenever you press E, you'll perform a number of gruesome finishes, and while doing them, you're immune to damage. And providing the enemies are close enough, which they normally are, you can chain attacks together for extended periods of invincibility.
The Soviet fucking Union can fondle my hairy nuts.
In fact, the knife gun combo is so powerful, you realistically wouldn't have to use any other weapons. The only reason I did was to show a bit of variation for the video. The game also allows two approaches to gameplay: going in guns blazing or stealth. Going in guns blazing is what you'll spend most of your time doing, and it works fine. You spend the whole game fighting the same static enemies, and even the more upgraded ones towards the end are the same. They're just reskins of the level 1 enemies. In fact, Marcinko can actually stab through their metal combat helmets, somehow. Oh, and don't forget the innocent mechanics who are just doing their jobs. Although going loud pales in comparison to how terrible stealth is. Honestly, saying this game has stealth is a bit of a stretch. In my opinion, it's supposed to be an objectively easier but more rewarding game style, but here it's completely laughable. Most of the areas where stealth is an option have maybe 2-3 enemies, and enemy aggro resets every few map sections, so going loud is easier and faster. You actually have features such as shooting out light sources as not to be seen, but the problem is it's not even dark. Also, the most offensive thing is the game forces you to go loud at the end of every mission anyway, so there's literally no payoff for doing stealth. There's no reward, so why would you even have it in the game? On top of this, I experienced a few glitches. The main one being that every time I did a knife attack, the game would decrease in brightness so I could barely see. This meant I had to use editing to make them look brighter, hence why they look different. Why the game did this, I have no idea. I tried to fix it, but I just couldn't. I also saw bodies glitch out every now and then. However, these paired with the hysterical story and dialogue make the game even funnier. My favourite was one at the end of Mission 4, where Marcinko is doing the cool guys don't look at explosions walk, and there's just some guy in the background firing at nothing.
Doom on you, assholes.
And I do want to mention the game has several checkpoints. This is normally good because you don't have to do much backtracking, but sometimes when you die you come back with the same health you died on, which is none. So when I got in a crowded area, this accumulated into a glitch where I'd respawn, get shot and die instantly. I died over 30 times before I managed to break the loop. Oh, and the whole game ends with a rap number made from all of Marcinko's audio clips.
Ooh! Fucking commies keep getting in my way. Well, surprise, motherfuckers.
Happy fucking birthday.
That's right, Natty, now you sweet piece of shit. Enjoy the ride, cocksucker. Have a nice trip. Boom time, baby. Trick or treat. Looks like a party, come on. I got places to go and people to meet.
Overall, the game is terrible, but hear me out, it's surprisingly fun, because of just how bad it actually is. Everything from the ridiculous plot, Marcinko's swearing, the glitches, and brain-dead AI during stealth make this game a lot of fun to laugh at. Also, it's less than 2 hours long, so it's over in no time. I genuinely don't think this game belongs up there with the worst games ever. Don't get me wrong, it's bad, but it's surprisingly playable. My idea of what makes a terrible game is if it's straight up broken or painfully dull, or both, and this game is neither of those things. My only real criticisms are the game getting darker when you do a knife attack, how much effort it was to get it working, and that stupid checkpoint glitch. But after that I had quite a lot of fun. I'm almost certain it was for the wrong reasons, but I still had fun. This game is far too entertaining to be ranked among the worst games ever, and because of that it's going quite low on the list. It really isn't that bad. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.